I'm Taylor.
I'm Mike, and this is from Dogs to Dads podcast. Let's jump into it.
Let's get it.
All right, man. So I guess we're going to start off with just how long we've been rocking, man. How long we known each other?
Man, we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think back. I really should have thought about this before we got on because when I met you,
Yeah.
we were, I don't know, you were a dog right when I met you right off the jump.
Man, I think it's been at least like 13 years, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just seeing us now from like where it all started to where it has come and being able to speak to it.
Yeah, now I'm like thinking about the memories, going back down memory lane.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of where we started. We'll talk about some stories where we started, some funny ones, some crazy ones, and then also this is more for like just when you get out of that stage and becoming a dad and what we go through, and maybe it'll help some people go through or who are going through the same thing, and then also the women.
Exactly.
Trying to brings the women into it. Maybe this will help.
Mind of a dad, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, when we get to that point, you want to chime in or, send us something you want us to talk about. We can, have that conversation, not only between us, but just feeding off of what you guys give us as well. So, yeah, we can go ahead and get into it.
Yeah. So,
All right,
Mike and I, we're both dads. We got 2 boys each.
Yep.
About the same age. Our oldest, they're
9 and 8.
yeah, and then the little ones, 4.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. So stories about them, but I really want to talk about like the beginning, just getting off into it. Like I did not think being a dad was so hard. Like what I mean by that is watching the TV shows or the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, whenever I was growing up, like in college and stuff, I was like, yeah, I'll become a dad eventually.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that hard in the TV shows, movies, getting there. Whenever I met my girl and became my wife, but I was just like, yeah, being a dad's not that hard. I see it all the time on TV. It's really not bad.
Well, in college, the thing we were doing is trying to prevent. It was preventing ourselves from becoming dads. Plenty of slip ups. I guess that's where the dogs come in. But
yeah, that's where the dogs came in. Bad.
But I think, like you said, it wasn't. It's not as easy as I would have thought it would have been. You learn and you make your mistakes with that first one, and then the second one, it's like it is what it is.
Once you have 2, hard, terribly hard. The first one, I look back and I was like, that was nothing.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
but like no. So where I was going with thinking it was easy watching TV shows and movies and stuff. Like, dude, I knew absolutely nothing, and what I mean by that is like the beginning. Whenever my wife went into labor, like we're at her parents' house staying the night there because we were actually living in Texas.
Yeah.
And so we would drive back because like she wanted to be back in Oklahoma, wanted to have the baby here. Eventually we wanted to move back from Texas back here. But anyway, like we had this whole plan about having the baby here in Oklahoma because we were going to eventually move back. And I remember when she came in to the bedroom because we were sleeping in separate bedrooms because when we were staying at her parents, the beds were small. And so I was in the other bedroom. And I was so tired because like my drive to work was like commute one way was 1 hour and 15.
Yeah.
And so like, dude, getting to sleep was like necessary for me. But like she comes in at like 7 a.m. and was like, hey, babe, my water broke. And I was like, I woke up, I ain't be exhausted. And I was like, today? Like, right now? And she goes, yeah. But, I think it broke because this was her first time, too. And I was like, what do you mean you think? Like, did it or did it not? And she was like, I think it did. There was, like, water, but I'm not sure. Just go back to sleep. And I was like, all right, cool. So exactly. I'm going back to sleep. And so then, like, 10 minutes go by, and her mom comes in and was like, hey, wake up. Like, we're going to the hospital. Like, I think the baby's coming. And then this is where, I knew nothing. So I'm like, all right. So I get up, brush my teeth, throw on some gym shorts,
Yeah.
throw on a shirt, shoes. I walk out into the kitchen. Like, Rachel's got her bag. My mother-in-law has her bag. Like, everyone's like ready to go. And they're like looking at me like confused. And I'm looking at them like they're like, I'm confused about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like they were like, well, where's your stuff? And I'm like, I'm looking down like, what do you mean? Like, my stuff is on.
Yeah.
And she was like, what are you talking about? Like, grab your stuff, your bag. Like, I was like, why do we need the bag? Like, why do I need a bag? I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what do you mean? Like, are you going to sleep in that? Like, are you going to stay the next day? Are you going to be in this?
Yeah.
And I go, what do you mean the next day we're going to go have the baby and come home? And bro, like they were like looking at me like, what the heck? And I was like, and then it clicked and I was like, wait, are we staying the night there? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, God, luckily we just got back from Texas, so I already had the bags packed, but I was like, then I knew we were having a baby and you had to stay the night there.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So that's how it all started. Like, I did not know anything about being a dad.
Right. I feel you on that. Like, so when Katie got pregnant, I was like, man, yeah, it's gonna be smooth. I'm about to fucking make some athletes. But you get there, and then at the same point, I'm like, man, her water broke and all that stuff. I was like, all right, well, we're in the hospital, so I knew we had to stay there. But we're in the hospital, and the first thing I started doing, I was like, well, we're gonna need some diapers. So I started emptying out all that stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna need this, because I was like, it's gonna cost us some damn money. But then Katie was moving around, like, she's like, oh, I'm having contractions. She's like, he's coming. And this was when, like, in the middle of the night, and I'm asleep. I was like, no, go back to sleep. I was like, you're fine, go back to sleep. She's like, no, get the nurse. I was like, man, all right. So I mean, he gets there, he comes, and he's fat. And it's like, you just can see this new life. But then going back to it, if you think about if I would have thought myself in college years and before that, hanging out with you, like, man, I don't shoot. Luckily, we didn't have a bunch of these little Rugrats all over the place.
I look back on pictures like back in the day in college. You're like, you know, on like Facebook when it says like years past, like it shows the memory stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they like it, and then like in the memories you see like from like 10 years ago, and then you see your most recent. You're like, then and then kids, and you're like, if I only knew we were having like what they would look like everything about them is just crazy.
Yeah, bro.
And the other thing,
what?
the other thing about like the beginning, like not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Dude, I got mad at the nurses, and I apologize to anybody that's a nurse. I did not know. Like, they tried to teach you how to like feed your baby, and like I'm thinking they do everything for you.
That's what it's supposed to do.
I'm like, they're like, so you hold the head like this, and I'm like, no, you hold the head like that. Like, I don't do anything until we leave.
Yeah, we gotta go home.
Yeah, so and then they're like, they're trying to prepare you to like take care of this baby. You know, so I got like frustrated. I'm like looking at Rachel. That's my wife, Rachel.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at her, and I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, I'm paying all this money to have these kids, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, they're trying to teach you how to do this, so when you get home, you don't know anything. I'm oh, okay.
Man, it's just like I said, the struggle is definitely real, but like nothing against nurses at all. You know,
nah,
I'm all about the healthcare workers and all that,
yeah.
But I mean, I was expected to be sleeping while they were doing all the work. I got to take them home. So now it's my time to relax.
Yeah, dude. But I'm glad they taught me how to do this stuff, because I like getting home and like I did not realize it's all on you.
Yeah, man, for real. Do you well, just in speaking to like beginning and stuff, like bringing the boys home, like when you brought them home, like I guess Cooper, so that was your first one, right?
Yeah.
So you bring him home, and then you have this whole new work-life balance. Like, how that work out for you?
Obviously, like any dad out there knows, like I'm mad.
Yeah.
No sleep.
Yeah.
Like it like your workouts are gone.
Exactly.
Like shot for like the first month or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're changing up your whole workout. It's like I started working out at nighttime with them because I was like I can't do it in the mornings anymore because they wake up early. Like and then not like you just get done working out and then. Like you're thinking, like they're you just put them down to work out. You put them to sleep. You're like, oh, cool, I can work out, go to sleep. No, it's like you put them down. You get maybe an hour or two, and then they're back up. Like, exhausting. And like now, I'm just like thinking more of how did I get through it?
Man, shit. I was kind of. I mean, you bring them home, they're eating, pooping. I mean, I've never changed a diaper. So seeing some of that stuff just coming out is some of the nastiest.
Like, to people that are about to be fathers or thinking about fatherhood, is like when they first poop, black. No one told me what was going to come out of them.
Yeah.
And then like, man, raising kids is like hard.
Man, when his umbilical cord fell off, I thought that was the stuff. I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, what's going on?
Dude, thinking you're going to break them 24/7. And, like, especially with you, with your big hands, like, you know, like, cinder blocks holding babies. Like, man, how do you not snap their heads off? Like,
you just, I don't know. It's trial and error. A lot of it's just trial and error. But
dude, yeah, like, I'm thinking about the first kid and,
like,
how bad it was. Like, not like bad, like, it was rough, but, like, then you learn so much.
Yeah.
And then the second one, you see what you did wrong with the first one, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, son. Like, my bad.
Yeah, man. No, that's why I wonder how these people, like, you know, those of us that don't have access. If you got, like, you know, you can do the nanny thing, or, you know, shoot, I wish.
Yeah, please help.
Yeah, I wish. But, man. Anyways, so. I mean, just in speaking of that, you know, because I know, I mean, everybody has a little bit of dog in them still. So, I mean, if we talk about that, you know, if it's talking about the beginning, do you miss it?
No, not like now. Like thinking back, like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to start over, like do that stuff or anything. But like,
I think, like you said, I don't think I miss it. No, definitely not miss any of that because, you know, not miss it. But I think, as you said, you know, there's, you know, thinking back on me and you, or me and some other fellas.
What I miss is not really missing like the whole chasing the girls and like doing that.
Yeah.
What I miss is like hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
Like the homies, like like seeing, like being at a party, you know, from across the room.
Yeah,
and,
looking
like,
at
yeah, they know you're talking to girls, or like just having a good time. You see them, you make eye contact.
Like, I got you.
Yeah, like
I'll take one. I got you. I know what you're trying to do.
Like that was fun. Like just hanging with the dudes and like going out and That's what I mean when I miss it. Is like just hanging.
Because that's the stuff that changes.
Yeah,
I mean, you find out the first. You know, everybody's like, "Hey, let's do something." Like, nah, man, I can't. I'm here. I'm here with the baby.
And now thinking was like, when someone like hits you up and is like, "Hey, you want to go out?" Like, I want to know who's all going to be there. I want to know like what time we're going to start.
Yeah.
When we're going to leave. Like, because my time is precious now.
Exactly.
It's like when you get a guy's night and you get together. It's like, I want to make sure it's the homies. I don't want like random people there. And if there is random people, I haven't met them before. Like how random?
Yeah.
Like I'm asking all kinds of questions now. Like that's
the dad in us coming out.
And now
right?
I'm not afraid to say no. Like if I don't like I ain't coming.
Exactly. No, I'm on that same thing. You know, looking at the time because only so much. You know, I gotta sleep. We got sports in the morning. We got stuff to do. So it's a whole different dynamic when before it was, shoot, when we going to crack this next bottle? Mm-hmm. When we gonna start it again?
Now you wake up, you don't want a headache.
Man.
You got responsibilities now.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that's kind of what the podcast is going to be about. Really want to get into like these episodes is talking about like different topics. talking about like sports with the kids, friends, like their friends.
Yeah, life.
Yeah, life as being a dad. How do you still work out? How do you still maintain it?
Intimacy?
Yeah.
And then, of course, like we said, I want to hear from everybody else. What does that look like? Just some feedback. Just have those topical conversations because we can talk all day. But yeah, so hey man, until next time, y'all.
All right, peace.